Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop of December 30th, 2022, a date of marriage of 1994. She has a vanisher who is a low-energy wallower. She says, I believe he's in a midlife crisis. There's been trauma from family deaths. His sister died about 8 months before bomb drop is what came out in previous questions. And there's a sense of mortality. He and his sister, I'm saying this from previous questions again, he and his sister had been very close. But people keep telling me that people and feelings change and that this is the way it is. Watch me. Giant eyebrow. Oh, grr. Okay. I am standing and hoping, but he has mentioned divorce and now I'm really at a loss as to what is going on. I stay away unless there's a business item. He moved out and has a limerent object. He has an alienator. I'm working. Do I just call it a day and let it all go? I think that was your question last time. It was, should I stop standing? Okay. So, why? It has been a year and a half. A little over. A year and a half, and yeah, a year and a half. Do you want to call it a day and let it all go? You have been married for 30 years. So I'm imagining that you've been together a bit longer than 30 years. Is that what you want to do? Are you saying that because you feel resigned? Well, it's just hopeless, so I might as well just do this. How about this? Okay. And some people get to this place earlier because they might get there before a year and a half, but you're at it and you're asking. I believe in standing. But I also believe each person needs to make their own choice. I mean, I'm not saying I want everyone to be a standard. I love that. I mean, I wish no one had to go through this. But there are some marriages that really should end. I mean, there's abuse and all these things. I want you to make the decision. Even when the decision has been made by the other person, I want you to come to a decision. Even if the decision is I'm standing and it doesn't work out, you have a decision. You might not get your way, but you have a decision. In the beginning, though, when you're in your trauma, when your amygdala is activated, you're in fight or flight, when you're in panic, when you're in anxiety, don't make a decision. You are not in an emotional state to make those sort of life-changing decisions, even when they've been made for you. You need to have a decision that is yours. And now is not the time if you're in a state where you don't have executive functioning, where you're the frontal temporal lobe not doing so well because you're stuck back in your lizard brain. Okay, so it's not a good time. So I believe in standing for a grace period in the beginning. You stand for a grace period of, I'm not going to make a decision at this time. And so I am standing at this time to not change that, to not do this. That doesn't mean you don't file for divorce if you have to for certain financial reasons, but you can stand for your marriage and file for divorce because you can get remarried. That doesn't mean you want the divorce. Sometimes there's necessities that you protect yourself, you protect your children, whatever. So in the beginning, don't do it because you're resigned. Stand for a grace period. Then, when you are healed enough to make a decision, and maybe you are there or maybe you aren't there at this time, what is the decision you want to make? Take all those other people who have opinions, including me, out of the equation because it's just you. It's not even you and him. It's you. He already has his opinion. What is yours? What do you want? Because standing, I'm sorry, it's a solo activity. We can do it. We bring a community of standers together. But when it comes to the marriage, which is an us, a two people, one of the persons has checked out, which is why we're standers now. Reconciliation is not a solo activity. But standing, we preserve the marriage for when we can work toward reconciliation. So what do you want? Yeah, You have described midlife crisis with the trauma of family deaths. Yeah, I know we haven't said it in this one, but in previous, he's 64. Or he was 64. I don't know if that's now or at Bomdra. A little bit older. Still, so what? Okay. He's there. He's having a crisis. He's having that sense of mortality. He lost his sister. Forget those people keep telling me that feelings change and that's the way it is. Those people want you to be better. They care about you. And they want you to stop being what they feel is delusional. But it's really about them. It hurts me to see her. It hurts me. There's an empathy in that. Great. But I want to feel better. And so I need you to stop crying. I want to feel better. And so I need you to stop being this way. I want you to be, your pain is affecting me. And so you need to get out of it. You need to sew back that right arm that is hurting because it got severed. That right arm that was your marriage or whatever. It doesn't work that way. Feelings change. That is an excuse. It just makes it easier. It's nice and compact. Oh yeah, people change. If it were that easy, people and feelings change, then why in the world would we ever continue to say the vows we say? What is the purpose of them? Yeah, I know. Some people say, well, you know what? That's just what everybody says. So it means you didn't mean them when you said them? The people that are using that as their excuse. When you said them when you were 25 or 30 or 35, you didn't mean that I am going to be with you for better and for worse? Means, so you just said it, but when things get worse, you run? That's the intention? What was your intention when you said those vows? And I know what yours was. But those people saying feelings change, oh yeah, feelings change. We can just discard everything now. La-di-da-di-da. No. You can be standing. And what I want you to do, because you're writing to me being bothered by these people telling you that feelings change. It means it's really getting at you. And it means that it's not just bothering you, but they're persuading. There is a persuasion in that. You want to do that. Should I just call it a day? They are persuading you. And if that's what you want, great. That's fine. But you're coming to me and saying that's not what you want. And if that's not what you want, you look at those people and you have got to get it in your backbone. You have got to get it in your strength and you get it in your voice. And you say, this is my choice. That is not how things work. Feelings don't just change. We said our vows and he made his choice when he said, I do. And whether you agree with that or not, who the F, sorry, you don't have to put that in, cares? Because this is about my marriage. And yet, I get it. You're saying this because you care about me. Well, so what right now? It's my choice. And you're not helping me. The people who are going to help me right now, no, they're not going to sit there and help me enable what you think is a delusion, but they are going to support me in my choices. I'm a big girl. And I have this belief. Marriage is a vow. And I took that vow and I believe in it. And I believe that he is having a crisis. Whether you agree or not, it's too bad. Take a walk. It doesn't mean it's going to turn out how I want it to. But I have a right to stand for my marriage without people telling me that I'm delusional and that people just change. Because that's not really how love works. And if you think it is, then you're the type of person who just discards when things get tough. And I don't. That's against my integrity. It's against my vows. And if you're that type of person, then I can't trust you. And I'm sorry for you. Because you seem nice right now. Or you seemed nice back then. when things were going well. No, you don't just call it a day and let go. You let go because that's part of detachment. It's part of the releasers. The releasers are detachment, letting go, and surrender. But calling it a day, what you mean is stop standing. There's nothing wrong with stopping standing, unless it's not what you want to do. If that's not what you want, then you don't do it because other people want. You can stand for your marriage, for the vows till death do you part, if you are a covenant-keeping stander. And you don't have to be a covenant-keeping stander. I was not a covenant-keeping stander. I mean, I'm religious, but I was 32 and a half at my bomb drop and childless. I talked about it in the language of covenant keeping or and on a religious principle, but I was going to come to a point where, like, you know what? I want a family. And that doesn't just include finding a way to have children as a single parent. I want a family. And I probably would have figured out how to do that. I didn't have to. He came home. We reconciled. What do you want? Not what do they want for you. Because what they want for you is joy and happiness, but they want it to be on the terms that they feel better about it. And that's not how it works. It's your choice. It has to be about your code of values, not theirs. So maybe they're not respecting, right, what you're doing, but self-respect is self-respect. That means you respect yourself, not get their respect. Because if you have to do things to earn their respect that go against what you need to do to have self-respect, then you suddenly lose self-respect to earn respect from others. And that is not a trade that is worth it. I gave up myself so that I could please you. But I gave up the what I feel is good about me. Don't do that. Okay? So if you don't want to stand, it's okay. But from what you've asked now and what you've asked previously, at least for now, it feels like you do. Okay? It feels like you do. He's mentioned divorce. What I need you to do within that, and what your friends want you to do within that, is there is an acceptance of the process of midlife crisis. In midlife crisis, you've been in a panic because it seems so hopeless. And we've talked about it before. At the point you're in, it still usually seems hopeless. It still does, especially with somebody who is a more distant contactor. Your job, you do what you want, but I don't want you sitting there focusing on I am a stander and wallowing on about the hopelessness of your situation. Because when you do that, I'm going to wallow in how hopeless it is, and then it becomes more hopeless. That is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you do is you heal. What you do is you choose joy. It is a choice. And you are allowed to be joyful even when you are also sad, when you're angry, when you are scared. But you work on your healing, and you work on your detachment, and you become your best self, and you live your best self, and you laugh, and you are an attractive force. You're an attractive force for you. You're an attractive force for your friends. And if he sees you, wow, that lady has got it together. I like her. I like to be around her. You are stable emotionally. You are attractive emotionally. I'm not even talking about what you look like, because your inner beauty shines out. You become that. And your odds go up. Your odds for reconciliation go up, because reconciliation and marriages are not made by two people who complete each other, and they're not made by two halves becoming a whole. They're made by two wholes coming together and creating a partnership and a team and an us, but both people are whole. So work on your healing. Focus on that. And maybe you'll change your mind about standing. I'm not hoping you do. I'm not hoping you don't. I'm hoping that you heal and you make a decision that you want rather than letting others persuade you into your decision. Okay? I hope this helps, and I want you to hug yourself. And I will see everybody in the next question.